Testing. Happy birthday. ध्याता मन्त्रधरैर्वृता सृजति या बुद्धिं प्रकृत्या शिवाम् आरम्भैस्थिरचिन्तनैर्मतिमतां सिद्धिप्रवाहो यत दृश्ये भ्राम्यति देशकालविवृते विश्वस्थितिर्वायया सा शक्तिर्निखिलाण्डकोटिसवितुर्व्याख्यातुनस्तत्पदम् आधानाद्विदितप्रभावविसरो विश्वस्य यो मूर्तिमान् कालं यस्य जगद्विसृष्टिकरणं कार्यार्थरूपं विदु माने हेतुरयं च भेदनिलयो देशो यदालम्बना तस्मै ध्वस्ततमो घनाय महसां ताताय तुभ्यं नमः सत्यासत्यविवेचकः स भगवान् धर्मो विधानध्रुव कल्याणार्थकरो हरेर्जनिमताम् अन्तर्विमानोद्यमी प्राणत्राणपरायणस्थितिमतां रुद्रोऽपि कामार्तिः धर्मार्थेषणकारणस्य जगत शास्तस्तवैतें शव रूपं ते वियदुत्तमं कृतिमती शक्तिः परा तापसी जातं सर्वमजाण्डकं तु युवयोर् अन्योन्यतादीपकम् शान्तिः सर्वसमापि भूतकरुणा न त्वां विहातुं क्षमा सर्वात्म्यं भजतस्तवेश महिमा सीमानमुल्लङ्घते श्लिष्यन्ति गहनाम्बरं रहसि ते शक्तिः शरीरं विभो प्रेम प्रश्वसितेन वां वितनुते सर्वत्र गूढां श्रियम् सान्द्रानन्दकृता यथा वपुषिवां घर्माम्भसां मालिका वैरिं चण्डपरम्परायतय्यं ताराकृतिर्नृत्यति अखण्डं प्रज्ञानम् जगदुदयभङ्गस्थितिगुणम् गुणातीता शक्तेस्तव सहचरी विश्वजननी अनन्तशेषात्मा भवसि च जगद्भारभरितो न दन्नन्तर्भूतेष्वणुरसि महान् सोऽसि भगवन् अविश्लेष्यं त्वत्तः सुचिरमभजं नाथ जगताम् अजानन्नर्धं ते भुवन जननीं प्राणदयिताम् तथाप्यस्येदं मे चरितमपराधं न गणयस् अहो आमन्योन्यप्रथनपटुदाम्पत्यमहिमा तस्मादेनं तव पदजुषं त्वत्कटाक्षोपजीव्यम् नाथ श्रीमन् कुशलकरणं साधु सन्धाय जीया सा ते सक्ता मयि तव जने बिभ्रति कार्यभारम् दृष्टिर्जीयात् भुवनजयिनी सर्वसाम्राज्यलक्ष्मी A very happy birthday to all of Pandiji's family and Divine Mother's children who have gathered all over the world, across time zones, across great distances, physically here as well as in presence online. This is one of those very special occasions in which all of us consciously connect to our source, to the base that Pandiji gave to us in our sadhana and in our life's journey as a collective, as a family. It's a special occasion because when we gather in this way, it is an opportune moment for the mother to draw together her children and weld on an inner plane our spiritual journey into one whole, one collective. Otherwise, we tend to live in our own little pockets of life, busy with our own immediate preoccupations, even our individual sadhana. But these are the occasions when consciously we can connect and a special work is done because the integral yoga is as much a collective yoga as an individual yoga. The collective manifestation of the divine in its entire splendor is the ultimate goal of this sadhana. Each one of us becoming not only vehicles, instruments, but also containers to receive the divine knowledge, the divine power, the divine beauty, and the divine love to be held and to be manifested in every detail of our life, within us as well as in all that we do, what we are and what we become, not only individually, but as a collective, as a family, transcending all boundaries that nationality or heredity or language or such appearances might seem to create. We are all immortal children of the divine, children of immortality, as the Veda exclaims, but children of bliss, as Sri Aurobindo reminds us. We have all taken births in various climates, various forms and bodies and cultures through the eons. Always somewhere within, there was a pointer, an indication, a nudge towards that goal for which this universe was born. And always, with the divine grace, a help provided in our life that we may make that journey more rapidly to our complete awakening. But this life is special, more special than any other. Not only is it a sum total of all the efforts that have been made across these eons, of which we do not consciously remember, but because it is also the beginning of something new. Many decades ago, when an exhibition was being organized about Sri Aurobindo's life, and a suggestion was made by the organizers that the theme should be Sri Aurobindo as the culmination of all the ages and the unification of all the traditions. Mother said, no, he is much more than that. He is the beginning of a new age. He is the beginning of a whole new manifestation, which cannot even be anticipated in the past. And so while this life is a culmination and a gathering, it is much more a beginning of a new direction. And a great part of that direction is our coming together in a collective, a spiritual collective, and in a spiritual aspiration that is a collective aspiration. There have been sanghas in the past, but the sanghas aimed at a realization which was still otherworldly, a collective effort to go beyond and exceed the material and escape into some higher possibility. Here, the goal of the Sangha is a collective manifestation. To collectively hold the divine knowledge, to collectively hold the divine power, collectively manifest these and the divine beauty and the divine love. Necessarily, it demands our individual effort, which is what we are given to do most of our day and time and life. But in these occasions, this collective aspect comes to the fore once again. Pandiji once commented ruefully that our ashram is not yet a spiritual collectivity. It is still a gathering of individuals with a spiritual practice and aspiration, but that aspect of the collective life has not yet happened, and that was in 1992 and 93. But we have to make that effort. He himself, as we saw in his life, and I can say very little, some of you have known him longer than I have been in this body. But what little I saw as a young child and a little later as a young adult was that every day, at every time, we would even say every moment, everything he did was directed towards the forward push of the mother's work. There was nothing which was done casually. There was nothing which was really for personal benefit alone. Even when he worked for work that might seem to be of an individual value, there was always that intention and consecration of every little detail as an offering to the mother. And in every detail, we saw in the morning when from the time he got up, the energy was throbbing, flowing. I remember several times, and the scene is unforgettable. He would come out of the bathroom, which was at the back, which is now the computer room, and he would come out with his towel wrapped around him, glowing with a certain intensity of presence and power, and smiling with full energy. And that was the launch of the day, the beginning, so to say, all fresh. And then as he would dress up, clothes were impeccable, neat, clean, ironed, perfectly creased. And the little symbol of the mother in Sri Aurobindo, and in the earlier days, the rose or flower, a dash of perfume on himself and on his hands, because he would have to meet the mother, and there should not be any vibration, even in smell, which would be uncomfortable to her. And in this way, preparing himself to manifest something of that divine presence and beauty and love in every detail of his form even, and his actions, the day would surge forward. Sri Aurobindo describes how each one of us, as we open to the action of the divine Shakti, is gradually formed and lifted to become as if a human dynamo for the divine Shakti to manifest. And that word dynamo we can apply to very few human beings. And he was one of those few that I have seen in life, that where he came, the entire atmosphere was filled with this surging power, as if a generator radiating, people were lifted up. If you were depressed, you would suddenly feel lifted, cheery, happy. If you were pessimistic, the optimism would come forward and fill. And if you were conscious, you would notice that within your heart, a glow begins. It was the one thing which was the most valuable. When I would come back from school, I would rush to him, sit down. If he was reading, I would sit nearby. If he was speaking to someone else, I would sit farther away. But sitting there in his presence, and you felt something working within you. A very close friend in those days who passed away prematurely, but he had some difficulties. He had some experiences of the Kundalini which had destabilized his consciousness, and he was struggling with that imbalance. And Pandiji had asked him to come and stay in Pondicherry for a few weeks. And he was just given this simple assignment. Pandiji would be sitting here doing his work, sometimes meeting people, and the friend would be simply asked to sit on the chair nearby, doing nothing in particular. And he would sit through the whole morning and then go away, come back in the evening, sit through and go away. And then one day the young man commented to somebody, he said, "When I'm sitting here, I can feel that he is working on me." And it was a fact that in a while, his problems cleared up and he became completely healed of that difficulty. But these are a few examples which I share, which give concretely, visibly the sense of what it means to be a dynamo, not only of the knowledge and the power, the beauty, but also, most importantly, the mother's love, of which we have often spoken, of which you have read in his diary notes. As when he approached the mother on his birthday, she asked, "What is it that you want?" He said, "Your love." And she said, "That you have already." And his reply was, "To share with others." And she blessed him deeply to mold him for that special gift, which all of us were the beneficiaries of. This life is special, not only because we have had the occasion to be here on earth in a physical body in the lifetimes of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, and even for those of us who are born just after, in the visible and still intact and intense presence of their impact in the physical body. But it is also that occasion when our soul now has an opportunity to awaken to the work of the new manifestation of the new world and to participate consciously in its building on earth. It is what the old religions looked forward to as the rule of God on earth. They saw it in various ways, in symbolic forms, the appearance of the Kalki in the Indian tradition, or in the Abrahamic tradition, the apocalypse, the revelation of the divine. They understood it in different ways through symbols, but it is the beginning of a rule of the divine life on earth, for which we have come, for which we are born. And we must begin to take small steps in every detail of our life. Whichever aspect of these four, knowledge, power, beauty, love, and the various other splendors of the divine consciousness, whichever of these is most natural for us, most easily flows in our swabhava, in our nature, through our character, in the forms of our work, we begin by dwelling upon these in small steps for a few moments every day. even if it is just at the beginning of the work or in consecration at the end, but a few moments to become conscious that there is the divine presence within us or above us or even around us. And we give an occasion for that to manifest in us and through us. A thin line, a fine thread of the link made to something concretely manifesting, even for a few moments, is enough to begin the flow. The divine presence is there waiting for the opportunity, and the thread once linked, it flows again and again. And rapidly, the thread broadens to become a cord. The cord becomes a soft flow, which becomes a stream and eventually a gushing river, manifesting in whatever aspect it is and gradually expanding to all its aspects. It may take time, but the beauty of this path is that every day, every step is a joyous step. Unlike the ascetic paths, where you have long years of suffering before you may have glimpses of a higher joy in some higher plane or higher worlds, in this path, every day, every step, every moment is a point of contact with the divine presence and a point of manifestation, and therefore a touch of joy. And when the joy is not there, it is simply because we have lost the connection, lost the thread, and we need to reconnect. But when that thread is held and brought again and again, however briefly, every day, we take steps of joy to greater joy. Fulfillment in closeness to the divine presence and love, to greater closeness to the divine presence and love. Opening of our minds and hearts to the divine knowledge and light and force, and a little more every day. And so that is the beauty of this journey. Unlike the ascetic paths, it is always a joyous journey and a sunlit path, as Sri Aurobindo points out. This is an occasion for us to remind ourselves of this great opportunity that we have. Draw inspiration from the example of what we have seen of Pandiji and others around the mother who were prepared by her for this work, and take a few steps, or at least resolve to take a few steps today, right now, and every day hereafter. In gratitude, we celebrate today as Pandiji's birthday, and we will, after a short concentration, we will place the message card as every year and the prasad which you may partake of before you leave. And we will also be, just as a general announcement, we have also officially released in a very small way, with a very small step, the website where Panditji's books will be available, diptipublications.com. Only 2 books have been placed right now. How Do I Begin? And Thoughts on the Gita, representing the beginning. And every day there will be, already more than 100 books have been put on, but not yet released. They go through a process of checking before they will be released. And the payment gateway also will be activated more and more effectively over the next few days. But this is one thing. And also for those of you who have not yet received the second volume of the video of Panditji's talks on the mother, those also are available for those who want to take that. We will have, as normally, every year we used to visit Sri Aurobindo's room or the meditation hall on Panditji's birthday. Unfortunately, because Sri Aurobindo's room is closed, we will have a meditation here at 9:30. You are welcome to join. Sri Aurobindo's presence is not bound to his room. He is everywhere, and when we invoke him, the space becomes his room, and we will be in his room for a while at 9:30 for about 10 minutes. We will, of course, have the meditation as usual in the evening at 7, for which also you are welcome. And anytime during the day, whenever you feel like, feel free to come and sit, bathe in the presence. And this is how we will celebrate this special occasion. We will close with a short concentration, and I would invite all of us to join together in a collective chant of Om to be repeated 3 times, but concentrating first as a collective vessel, as a collective body, as a family and children of the Divine Mother across the world. All those of us who aspire to practice the integral yoga and to serve the divine manifestation of the new world, concentrating to link ourselves with this larger family that the whole may form a vessel for the divine manifestation. We will chant Om together 3 times, and Pandiji explained 3 times so that the manifestation is in the mind, in the mental body, in the vital body, and then in the physical body. So the movement of the manifestation with the repetition 3 times brings it all the way into the physical manifestation. Bon fête once again. Please come and partake of prasad. Can you? Okay, I see. Can we show it? For those who are watching online, the message is something Pandiji wrote in December 1973. The slave of God only surrenders himself to God in order that he may use him in whatever way he likes. The laws of prudence and the like as a wall against the will of God. He is not bothered to protect himself from the alleged or likely dangers that might befall him. He is only concerned with letting himself function as a simple channel for the flow of the grace the love, the consciousness that flow through the highest parts of his being and of which he is intensely aware. M.P. Pandit, December 1973. Chananlalji said. बच्च्यासाठी घेतलं.
श्रद्धावान कोणाला Messages. Message.
As many as you like. Right? It's a friend.
Huh?
Okay. Good.
Yes, carbon dioxide.
Okay.
Yes. Malini, today you are going back to Chennai? Huh?
Yes.
Today you are going back to Chennai. Whoever I have forgotten.
Pandiji, at least 1 or 2.
You will be meeting the husband's
I
son.
would like to, at least by tomorrow.
Oh,
Let me try.
wonderful. Then wait for a while. I will give for his family.
So that I can pass it on to him. At least that's as good a service I can.
Very well, very well, very well, very well. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You just wait for a while. I will back and give one. Uma, to whomsoever I have forgotten, remind me. Yeah? For whom? Who is the Kashi? Very good. Very good. And Shraddhavan also. Shraddhavan. He has reduced. Eat well, sleep well. You are in service of God. You have to take care of yourself. He loves you so much. Everything has come on. Yesterday's Panditji's talk also has come. We will meet. I should join for open practice.